Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at alternate uses for the gift bag punch, which is by We Are Memory Keepers. Now you know I did a review of this on Monday. I'll put a link for that in the video and also in the description. So if you haven't seen that review, you can go check it out. Today we're going to do something fun. I want to show you two things first that I created, and that's what we're going to start with. So I want to show you these policy envelopes I made using the gift bag punch. And like as soon as I took this guy out of the box, these are what I was thinking we could make, because this actually reminded me of a policy envelope with a little bit of adjusting. Now I'm going to show you this one first. This envelope will fit an A2 size card, so that's why I want to show you. Now it's a little tight, and I used cardstock to make this. You'll probably just use a regular paper, but you can use it for your A2 cards if you'd like. It's also perfect to make a mini album from, so let's make that guy. So this envelope uses an 8.5 by 9.5 piece of paper. So you just have this little bit that you cut off an 8.5 piece. And don't worry, put this in your scrap drawer because this is perfect for sentiments and punching and things like that. So no waste there, use that later. And you do have to use your scoreboard with this. Now with your paper in your scoreboard at the 9.5 side, okay, you want to score it in two places. We're going to score it at 2.5. And then we're going to score it at 7. This is going to be the sides that fold in on the policy envelope. Now we're just going to twist it in so that now we have the 8.5 in our scoreboard. And we're going to score it at 1 3/8 on the top and also the bottom. So to make things easier for me, I just flip it around and score it again at 1 3/8. Now if you're concerned about what 3/8 are, you're just going to go to 1 and then count 3 notches over, and that's your 3/8 mark. That's pretty easy. So now we're ready to use the punch board to create our policy envelope. Now we're going to do some punching on this paper. The 9.5 inch length is where we're going to punch. We're going to punch above that 1 3/8 inch score we did there. So we're going to take that line, that 2.5 inch score line, and line it up with our little caption bubble right here, okay? And we're going to punch. Then we're just going to slide it down, line up the other score line we did at 7 inches, and punch. So we have that. You can already see how that reminded me of a policy envelope. Now we're just going to flip it over and do exactly the same thing. Line up our first score line and punch. Line up our second score line and punch. Now that we've got that done, this is where you do just a little eyeballing, but it's really no big deal. I'm going to cut this at an angle. Instead of just cutting this piece straight off, because that leaves some bulk when we fold it up, I'm going to bring my scissors about 1/8 of an inch away from my score line and cut at an angle to that point where we punched, and I'll show you what I mean. So you can see here, I just cut a slight angle right there, and that'll take some of the weight out when we fold. And I'm going to do that on all the sides about 1/8 of an inch away. I'm just eyeballing it. No one's going to see that. It's not going to be a big deal. Just do it like that. Same thing here, 1/8 of an inch away from the score line and cut at an angle like so, and then the last one. I'll show you where it takes the bulk out so it'll make more sense too. So by having these little angle cuts here, when we fold this over, it'll take some bulk out and let these fold better. Now I inked the other one that I showed you first. I'm not going to ink this one. I'm just going to do the folding. Now it is super simple. It's just fold and glue. That's all there is to it. I'm going to add some glue to this fold line here where they meet, right in the middle. Then at the bottom, fold it up, prep it, and go ahead and glue that one into place. And we pretty much, at this point, have our policy envelope ready to go for our project. You could use these for mini albums, for your card making. Who knows what all you could use it for. But that's how simple that is to make the policy envelope using the punch board. Now I want to show you another project. Now I'm going to show you how to make this little box. Now one thing I want to show you is this. The lid of this box has a slight angle. You can adjust this box and get rid of that, but I think why? I think it's kind of cute. If you were to put a bow on it or a latch or anything like that, it'd be super cute. Cute for maybe a toolbox for Father's Day or something like that. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Super easy. You're going to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and cut it in half like you were making an A2 size card. So now this is 5.5 inches tall, 8.5 inches wide. To get us started, we're going to use the punch board for all of this. We don't have to do any other scoring outside the punch board. We're going to put our cardstock into the punch machine and line it up with that large line right there. Okay, so the first score we make is in medium. That's our first score. This is basically telling us our starting point. All right, now I'm just going to turn this around and put it into the punch. and we're going to punch it first. And then we're going to do some scoring. Our first score line is that horizontal line, and our second is this side line. All right, super easy so far. The only thing we need to do is we need to back up and score this portion of the box because we didn't do that earlier, so I just wanted to get that one scored. Now we just slide our last score line into the punch and score. So we're going to do the same scores. We're going to do the horizontal score, the side score. Now we're going to slide to that score line and punch. Finish off our horizontal line, okay? Do our side line, roll it down, and punch. Now here, you need to punch so you're not left with this little flat edge. If you want the flat edge, you can do that, but I think it looks better when we finish the box to have a little punch. So I line the edge of the paper up with that yellow line right into our punch that, and we get a nice clean tab. Now we're going to flip this guy over and continue. This time we only have to do the horizontal scoring. We don't have to do the side scoring. So we're going to do some horizontal, but again, we need to back up a little bit, grab that first little section, score that, go to our next line, punch, next line, punch and score, next line, punch. One more time. Right to the line and punch. Now I missed a score. I should have done it, but if you get ahead of yourself, just go put it back in there and just finish that score line out. Good deal, I got it. Now we're ready to assemble. So before I put this box together, I'm going to come right here and get rid of these two little pieces because we don't need them. Now you can cut them straight away or you can do an angled cut. I'm just going to cut these straight away. I don't think you have to get too fancy and do that angled thing. And we are ready to assemble. Now, I'm going to go ahead and fold all the lines in the middle, getting those ready to go. Then we're going to fold the sides, just like this, and just like this. Now, we're only going to put together 3 of the sides, and actually, this is the top. You can see this piece we're going to leave loose, and it will tuck into the top of the box, but these we're going to put together. I want to show you how I did it. I came to this middle one here. I laid this down and I put some glue on both edges of this tab, outside and outside. Then on the front tab, you're going to put glue to the front of it. You can do this with sticky tape. That's basically where I put that. Then we're just going to lift this guy up, bring everything together, and you have to kind of square this up on your own because none of these cuts are square because they have the rounded edge. So just sit it on the table, kind of look at it, make sure it's kind of square, and you'll be in good shape. Okay, now over here we're going to do the same thing. We're going to tuck that middle piece down, put glue on 2 sides, this one, and the front of this one. That'll make sense when you're putting it together because you'll see why we're doing it that way. Then square it up and let that glue dry. And that's all there is to it. We've created the box. We're going to tuck those sides in, tuck that top down, and you can see that little angle we get from it. So it's kind of an angled top box. Let me bring this one over and you can see both of them side by side. So I think this is super cool, and the thing I really like about it is it's just half a sheet of cardstock and using the punch board, and you've got this box. You could put all kinds of stuff in it. It would be super cute. So there's that project. Now I have one more I want to show you, and it's making a card with the board. For making the card, again, we're just going to use the board, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. This point line right here, this score line, is going to be our first guide for the card. This paper is the same size as our last one. This is 5.5 by 8.5. It's cardstock, actually. I'm going to place this into the board, and I'm going to line it up with that score line from that point. I'm not going to score anything. I'm just going to line it up there. Once I have it lined up here, I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to score it at medium. Okay, that's my first score line. Now I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing. We're making a gatefold card, so this is going to make our doors basically. So I'm going to line it up to that point line, come out to medium, and score. Okay, now then we can go right over here to our punch and punch on those score lines. And both sides. Now that we've done that, we can turn these in, line up those edges, and crease this down for our card. Now it looks a little odd right now, I'll give you that. We're going to turn this into a barrel card. That was kind of my idea. When I scored this, I thought this looks just like a barrel to me, and I think it would be funny to do that. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do it today, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is cut some paper to mat this with, and I'll show you how we do that. So I have this wood grain paper that I want to mat my card with. I've cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, which is what we would normally mat an A2 size card with. Now we just need to cut it in half. So I'm going to come right here, put it on 2 inches, and cut that in half. Because remember, we're making a gatefold card, so we need a mat for each side. Now back to the punch board. We want to mat the barrel that we just made. So we need punches on the 2 sides here so that we can mat the card and it makes sense. So here's what we'll do. We'll take the piece that's going on the right-hand side. We'll put it right to the yellow line of our punch and punch. So that will now mimic the top. Then I'm just going to flip this over and punch it again. So we can mimic that top line right to the yellow line. So this will make sense. I'll go ahead and do this now. Now we can mat this panel with that little wood grain piece. How cute is that, right? Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute. Okay, now we wanna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna punch the top left corner of this one, just like that, flip it over and punch again. So now we'll have both of our mat pieces for our card, just like this. This is gonna be super cute when we put it together. Now, do you recognize these pieces by chance? These pieces were punched when we made our policy envelope. This is that beige colored paper that I used, or craft colored paper that I used. I'm going to use them to be hinges for our barrel card. I think it will be funny and cute and maybe a little bit strange, but still it'll be cute. So I'm going to mat these pieces. But first I want to do some inking to our card. I think it'll make it look more rustic. So I'm going to use some distress ink in the color tea dye. I think that will be cute around the edge of our barrel, and I'm just going to ink it up everywhere. I'm also going to ink these little hinge pieces so that they can match. And then before I put away my distress ink, I want to do one more thing. I want to have like screw heads on these hinges, but I don't have a screw head stamp, so I'm going to use a pencil, and I'm just going to tap it into my distress ink, and then I'm going to place it here in the back. Just circle that on there. It's like making your own rubber stamp from an eraser. So it'll look like hinges. And then I think I'm going to use another tool. Let's see. Just a little dotting tool and put a smaller dot at the front. So look, we have a couple of screws on there. And then let's put this card together. I'm going to open it out. I think it'll be easier to work with this way. Add some art glitter glue. Now this panel goes here, and I'm going to line it up to the center line on the inside. I'm not going to leave a gap or a matted edge here so that when we close it, the wood will touch together. Line that up to the edge, just like so. Then when we close it, you can see that our barrel is going this way. Oh my goodness, this is kind of loosely a barrel, but I think it's cute. I think it's going to work. Now I'm going to use where these little points are here to be where I put my hinges, so I have a place to kind of line them up. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to put the hinges all the way to the edge at that point. I think this will be cute. So there's one hinge placed. Oops, I moved it too fast. So there's one hinge on our barrel. Let's do some more. Do another one down here, lined up with where that punch ends. So there's that one. Now let's do them over here. So there's the front of our barrel card. I think it is super cute. And now we need to decorate the inside and put a sentiment on it. So now check out our barrel card. How cute. It does look like a barrel, doesn't it? I think it looks super cute. There's one thing I want to do on the front to give it even more of a barrel look. And I'm going to take a ruler and a marker. And where these points are, I'm going to draw a line. And if I didn't make a perfect line, I'm going to get a crooked line. Like if I didn't get them lined up just right, I think we'll be okay. I think it will still work. Just to give us the feel of a little belt there holding that barrel. I think that's kind of cute. Isn't that precious? Okay, now for the inside. The first thing I want to do is I want to mat these pieces, and I'm going to mat them using black paper, and we're going to need our punch board again. Now, in case this gets confusing, just keep your card here and just take an eye and look what you're doing so you can see which ones you need to punch, which areas. Let's start with this one. So on this one, I know I need to punch this side and this side. So I'm going to put this piece in on the yellow line and punch. Flip it over and punch. By the way, I cut these pieces just like I did for the front. So these will mat just like the front pieces do. These were 2 by 5 1/4. So now this piece will sit right here and mat this edge. Okay, so now we're going to do the other one, and we need to do the opposite corners. Considering this is the same color on both sides of this paper, it really doesn't matter. But if you're using single-sided paper, you really want to pay attention to where you're punching. Get this one done. And now this one is ready for here, which I know you can't see right now, but you'll see that in a few minutes. Now the middle piece, I cut this piece at 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to punch all 4 corners. So these guys are now ready to glue down. You can see how that will now sit in the middle. Perfect, right? I love that. I love it. When you're gluing these panels down, pay attention to which one goes where, because you want to make sure you get your punches in the right place. And also, I'm lining these up to the edge. You can see I'm lining up to the very edge and only having the mat on 3 sides of the little doors. I just think that's kind of cute, right? Okay, now we got to decorate the inside. I got to show you what I did. I went to my Cricut and I did a little print and cut of this monkey. How cute is he? So he's going to hang from the top here. And then I did, with my markers and text feature, I wrote, "You're more fun than a barrel of monkeys." And that's going to go in here as well, down toward the bottom like this. I just think that's super cute. So let's glue our monkey down. And I didn't put any glue on his tail because I'm not exactly sure where it's going to land, but I know this it's going to be over my sentiment, so I'm going to glue it last. How do I want to do this little monkey dude? I'm not going to glue his tail down at all. I'm going to let it be loose and do it just like that. So I'm going to glue my sentiment into place. So there we go. You're more fun than a barrel of monkeys. And then I'm going to go back and look at the front. Look how cute the front is. A little barrel card in the front, right? And then, of course, the inside. Now, for me, this is too plain. I got to put some white stitching in there. So I'm going to get my white gel pen. And I'm going to do some stitching. I'm going to stitch on the insides and all the way around the barrel. So I'm just going to kind of start in this area and stitch. It'll just help it to kind of pop and bring it all together on the inside. So here is the front of the card, and you can see I did stitches here as well. I thought it was super cute, and you're going to see I went a little crazy with the stitches, but I like them. So check out the inside. I stitched my little monkey and everything. I think this is the cutest card, and can you believe we got this from the gift bag punch? I think it is super cute. Imagine what all you could do with this. I'd like to hear what you guys think, and maybe you could turn it sideways and do something that goes this way. I could see a purse or a briefcase done out of that. That would be super cute. Let me show you everything we did. So we made this little box. We made some policy envelopes, or we made this one together, and then we made this card. Hey, let's put this card in this envelope. Super cute. Ready, set, and go. All right, guys, so if you're interested in making these projects, I will have the dimensions for all of the projects on my blog, so you can use your punch board in different ways than it is designed. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think we could come up with all kinds of ideas for this, so you may see this guy pop up again. Thanks so much for watching. If you have ideas for using the punch board, if maybe today while I was doing this, you saw something that you're like, you know what, that would work for this idea, leave it in the comments for us below. I think we would all love to hear what you guys' ideas are as well. You can follow me on all my social medias. You can catch me over on Maymay Made It and So Did I on Facebook. You can catch us on our heart group. And now we have a new feature on our website where you can get all our live shows. So go check out our website, which is below, maymaymadeit.com, and go ahead and get ready for our next live show. You'll be able to watch when they're scheduled. The whole thing will be there for you on the page. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.